Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and we interviewed Tina Valiant from Phoenix, Arizona, and Kara Lavenda, another agent here from Phoenix, Arizona, on open house marketing and how they use open houses and the tactics and the pre-marketing, the marketing at the event, the post-marketing to really grow their business. And it had such good content in that interview that I would like to share all of that with you today on the podcast. So without any further ado, I'm going to play for you the recording. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll check back in with you at the end when it's all done. Enjoy. Let's talk Kara for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're a certified property stager. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I saw you unpacking a truck yesterday, like full of...
Yep, and I was back there this morning. We were
Okay.
actually staging. We were helping them move yesterday
Okay.
and moving some of our stuff in. But yes,
I love
we
that.
do.
Okay,
That's awesome.
I love that. And you're a member of the HomeSmart Elite Group.
I am.
And so what do you do, like, before an open house? So you kind of sent me a list. I put some
Yes.
bullet points
Yeah.
up here, but talk about what you do.
So my biggest thing is studying, because I do open houses for other agents too, so they're not always just my listings, which is how I can get a higher volume.
Right.
But that means I need to do my research because I don't know it as well.
Right.
And the agents are usually very helpful and know a lot of the details, but as everyone knows, actually being there and seeing the neighborhood and seeing the house is more helpful. So I try to scope it out. That way I can also learn where I want to put signs, where it would be most beneficial. Because I actually do get quite a few people who will come through in certain neighborhoods that said, oh, I saw the signs, so we decided to come in.
Right.
So we do convert people just off the street. A lot are from Redfin, they knew it was an open house, they've been watching it.
Right,
But
right.
So that's important.
But you will do, I want to clarify one thing, you will do open houses on other agents' listings.
Yes. Oh,
So
HomeSmart.
the example for me, of HomeSmart, because, like if someone has 7 listings and they don't have 7 team members, how are they going to do 7 open houses? They need other agents, or they will work with other agents to do open houses, and you've done a great job of doing that.
Thank
And
you.
you just go ask them and develop a rapport with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a couple other agents, another team that I've been working with a lot primarily too, because they've had quite a few. So between Mary and I with our listings, because we're really listing heavy right now, which is great.
Right.
It's been keeping me busy, which is
Okay.
good. So every Saturday and Sunday I'm out there. But
That's great.
yes, I do reach out, or I just scour and see what the HomeSmart agents have and areas that I'd like to do an open house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You talk about learning as much as possible about the home, and I've heard this from a lot of top agents I've interviewed, that you have to know the story of the home, or know a lot about the home,
Yes.
or know about the neighborhood, so that you're knowledgeable, because people
Yes.
will ask you questions.
Yeah, it just reflects poorly on you as an agent, I think. Like, they obviously you're not going to know everything about every single house, but even if they're not interested in that house, they automatically kind of lose their urge to work with you if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't seem to care about where you are and what you're doing, and you
Right.
aren't representing the house well, then why would they want to work with you?
Right.
Kind of like what you were saying.
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you always print out the MLS page, right?
I
So that
do.
you have it.
Yes.
And this is one that I loved for your listings. Your
Yes,
listings
just
right
ours.
here. You bring cookies and actually bake them in the house.
Yes, we've done it a few
And
times.
so they walk in, and you're the smell already of
Yes.
warm baked cookies.
Yeah.
You're,
Which was not a trick that I learned on my own. I mean, I've
Right.
seen it a million different places, and
Right.
Mary does it with me, of course, too. And a lot of times we just end up eating the cookies because a lot of people don't take them, but they
Right.
always comment on it, and
Right.
it gives it a homey feeling.
love it. And in some areas, water bottles like Arizona,
Yes.
a must, right?
Yes.
Obviously, but I've heard this from many top agents doing open houses. Get there early.
Yes.
Get there early, because nothing worse than when somebody comes through and you're not ready, or
Yeah.
you're not prepared, or you're not open, or an agent sends somebody over and you're not there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you talk about getting there early. What do you do to stage the house, or you like to get it ready?
Same thing. So if it's not our listing, when I say stage, I use that loosely.
Right, but
Same type of thing though. Of
get it
course,
ready.
making sure all the lights are on, clearing any clutter. If they have papers on their desk, hide that somewhere and remember, so I can put it back wherever.
Right.
Put things back where they were, but just clear countertops, clear spaces, like like she was saying.
Right.
You don't want it to look smaller.
Right.
And all the extra.
And then you always post on social media, right?
Always. Yeah,
and then I have
on
some
Instagram.
Examples of some of that. I'll show you that here
Yeah.
in a little bit. Now, one of the things, I put it in italics here because I don't know if you've done it yet, but we've been talking about some agents, when they're doing open houses, they market to the 50 homeowners around the home. So you were talking about the 150 flyers that you'll put out in that neighborhood, because what tends to happen is that those aren't the people that are going to buy the house, buy the home, but the thing is that they are great source for new listings, and they want the people that are doing the listings in the homes in those neighborhood. So one of the things we talked about was, and I challenged you a little bit, and I was like, hey, market to the 50 homeowners around the home and give it a try. I don't know if you've had a chance to do that because we just talked about it last week.
Right.
Have you?
So not yet, but
Not
it's
yet.
something that Mary and I have actually been talking about.
Okay.
This whole new year, something that we really want to incorporate in
Okay.
general, because we get the
Okay.
phone calls that go straight to
Right.
voicemail, and we
Right.
like them.
Okay.
So we
one
want
of
to
the
do
things
it too.
I'd love to have you do.
I have an idea.
Yeah, go.
Send out cards would be awesome for something like that. Like if you just your title agents and your mortgage brokers can help you get that list of everybody around that house, and literally just send out a little send out postcard.
Right.
You know, just
Yeah.
talking about yourself and your listing packages, because on my flyers it's the listing package that
Right.
we're actually promoting on the back of the flyer.
Right. So to summarize, a couple quick ways to do it. One is you print up 150 flyers or door hangers, and you actually have your son or you have someone else go and put them on all the doors in the neighborhood. Number two, work with your title company, your escrow, your mortgage companies to get the names and addresses of those homeowners, and to send out cards, send out something to all of them. Another one of our partners is Cole Realty Resource. You can go put in an address, go to colerealtyresource.com/HomeSmart. They have a special program there for HomeSmart, but you can put in an address, get the names of the 50 people and the addresses, phone numbers, etc., of homes around each listing. So one of the things we talked about then is you're going to give that a try. Do you think you can give us a try maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Oh, yes.
And report back by the end of April?
Yes.
And let us know?
Yeah.
And I would love to hear, be honest, let us know if it works, let us know how it works. And
Yeah.
Love to see
Yeah.
that. Okay, perfect. Oops, hang on, I got something here
Technical
showing up on my
difficulties.
screen. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Is it going on to the next one? Hang on, let me check something here.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I'm frozen. All right, so talk about during, while I get the slide up.
Yes.
Talk about what you do during an open house, starting with lighting candles.
Oh, yes.
Right?
So I have also done that, especially at vacant properties. I bring a candle and light it. People are really, really big on smell, and if that's the first thing that hits them, they're automatically turned off by it. And I've noticed that, again, the open house doesn't necessarily sell the house, but it can get you business. And if people are running through it because they're already just so turned off by the experience they're having there, then that already slims your chances of turning that into something more, to converting it.
Right.
So yeah, I have brought my own candles and just light it, and people will comment on it, but it seems to make a difference.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, leaving the front door open or leaving the door cracked.
Yes,
That
as you
was-
know, in Phoenix you can't always do that, but of course this year it's been beautiful weather, so I do try to leave it open, especially if the homeowner's okay with it. Some of them have screen doors too, which is even better. You don't have to worry about any critters coming in.
Right. Right.
But I do try to do that, because otherwise I notice that people will ring the doorbell or knock, and then I feel like you're already off to not a good rapport with them, because they feel like they're intruding
Right.
when they're not at all.
Right.
The open house sign is out front. Come
I
on
just
in,
like it
but-
because it was warm and inviting. You
Yes.
were talking about it's inviting them in. Soft music in the background. Sorry for the typo here, but you post on social media. You do live sometimes when you're there. Like
Yeah.
I've seen you actually post a live story
Yes,
or
I
do
do.
my story
Mhm.
while you're there.
I post on my story a lot.
Does that work?
It does. I actually get a lot of people who, the best thing about doing your story is that people can't just comment on your picture and come back to it later. They have to message you straight from your story. And so it goes straight to your inbox, and they're directly speaking to you then. And so that does work because they're forced to engage with you if they want to engage with you.
Right.
And then you get to have a conversation with them.
Right.
So it does work.
Yeah, it does.
Even if they're not saying like, oh, I want to see that house or want to know the details of it, they're at least still
engaging.
Yes.
They're engaging.
Yep.
So now you like to stand and greet guests.
I do.
As much and
I do.
Talk about that a little bit.
I am like the first person to admit that I am not a good like pushy salesperson. It's just not in my personality. So for me, it's easier to go and greet them and just build a relationship and find something in common with them right off the get-go and have that. And then we can talk about the real estate aspect of things. Then I'll follow up and do all of that good stuff and ask what they're looking for and what they did or did not like about the house today. If they're working with anyone, I'll follow up with all that. But I like to greet them at the door and make it more like, hey, come on in, we're friends, than anything else.
Right. Well, you talk about reading people, and that gets into your psychology that you're talking about, reading people, right? And I do think that, like you mentioned about going into a store, and you can tell that person is a commissioned salesperson, and they're just hovering over you so much that I will actually leave the store like you will.
Hate it.
Right? Hate it. And so there's a fine line of that engagement, I think, that both of you are talking about.
Yeah.
It's about relationships.
It is.
And you have to make it about them, not about you, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you say always ask if they're working with an agent?
Yes.
And let them know you care. Talk about those 2 points.
So when I ask if they're working with an agent, if they say no, obviously, of course, you kind of pitch yourself a little bit. But by letting them know I care, if they say yes, I'm just like, oh, great, like ask who their agent is and just kind of let them know that I'm not just asking because I'm trying to push my business on them, that I'm just trying to get a little more, getting to know them a little better. And again, so even if they really truly are working with an agent, they leave and their experience was good. So if they see my name ever again, they'll have positive thoughts about who I was as an agent and as a salesperson. And so
you've had people tell you they're working with an agent before too when they're not.
Of course.
All the time.
All the time, right?
They come back in and they're like, can I tell you the real story?
Yeah.
I'm not really working with an agent, but I like you.
Right. Yes, exactly. Once their walls are down, so that's why I do. I try and greet them first thing, and I try and find something common and tell them I like their dress or their shoe, or even as annoying as that is, like small talk, like when it's been raining at open houses, like, oh, this weather's crazy. But because then their guard's down. I don't try and like spew out like 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet immediately when they walk in the house. I want them to know it's about them.
Because sometimes you told me sometimes you'll actually give them a tour when you read them. That's what they want. But there's other times where you'll give them a sheet and you will leave them alone and set them free.
Totally.
Right?
Yes. So kind of like what they do. But yeah, I do. Some people walk in, you can tell right away that they want nothing to do with you. So I just am like, okay, do my same little thing that I do with every single person. And I say, you go ahead and walk around. If you have questions, 99% of the time they come back with questions then because they didn't feel bothered and they were able to just take it in on their own.
Right.
And then other people you can tell want you to, and they just keep conversing with you all the way. And so even if you weren't planning on following them around, if there's other people, you start following them around because they want you to. And obviously that's just a good relationship.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about converting a little bit, actually, so we're here on Still Dazzling. You do ask for their info. No sign-in sheet, but at some point you ask them. So. And you always bring your computer, take or make notes, smile, be happy, be helpful. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute.
So I ask for their info at the end after I've asked if they're working with an agent. And again, I still read it. And I still ask, like, are you okay with me getting your information? I'd love to send you a text message following this. Same thing. And I really do. I just gauge it on their personality. Some people you can be so much more pushy with and they're really open to it. Other people you cannot. And I have to tell them, like, I promise I'm not going to just text you every single day or call you every day or do all that stuff. Like, we'll work at your rate, but I would love to be able to give you my information. Like, I don't want to just give you my information because then it's left in their hands. Okay. So I try and get it from them so I can reach out. But we don't use a sign-in sheet. We just try and take notes of every person that we met. And like I said, if we can get their info, great. If not, the next one. I always bring my computer because I think the nature of open houses is it gets slow. So it's a great time to get work done. But also, if there is a question, sometimes they do ask if there's permits pulled, stuff that you can pull up so easily, and then you can do it right there. And that really dazzles people too. They
Well, and
get
then you
really
show
excited about
yourself
that.
as being professional,
Yes.
show yourself as being knowledgeable, being an
Assertive.
expert, somebody who
Yes.
can help them. You
Right.
answered their question.
Yes.
So-
So it always is a
Right.
a good tool to have with you.
And you can take it a step further when you have your laptop there. In our market, and I'm sure it's like this everywhere, and they come in there like, well, this one doesn't work. It's a 2-bedroom. It's not a 3-bedroom. I need a 3-bedroom. My agents are trained to have everything up on their computer while people are walking through, so that they can say, oh, did you see the one 2 blocks over that fits your description perfectly?
Right.
And right now they're doubled on open houses, so they actually go show property during their open houses.
Yeah,
they
that's
tag team
smart.
each other.
Oh, so you have
So
two
smart.
agents there, and one can
Right
leave
now,
and go take
because-
them.
Yep, because
I
there's
like
so many
that.
people coming in.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
So
is
they
great.
they literally will pull it up because she's prepared, just like with her, and you know what the inventory is right around you, and you've already looked at all the pictures. So anything they say as an objection about
Right.
this house, you have something to be able to share with them that matches their description.
Right.
Smart.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really good.
And I do think it makes you look professional though too,
Yes.
and it also, like you mentioned, okay, you have a little downtime. So now you have your computer there. You can post on social media.
Yes.
You can work on some marketing.
Right.
You can do other things, so you're maximizing every hour of your day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Because I think that's why a lot of agents don't want to sit at open houses, because as much they're really, really great, but a lot of agents feel they don't have the time, or they,
Right.
they don't want to waste
But if you make
waste
the
their
time
time.
productive,
Yes.
then it's work.
Or they
Like
say
that.
they're boring.
Yes, they fall asleep.
I hear that so often from agents. Open houses are boring. I don't want to do
Yeah.
them. I'm like, then you're not doing your open house right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it's you. I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about after. Always stay over the open time posted. So if it's 2 to 4 o'clock, don't leave at 3:45.
No,
Right.
never leave early.
Ever.
Yeah.
Never.
And,
Ever.
Ever. And I think you had said a phrase which resonated with me in your write-up to me beforehand. She talked about how there's nothing worse than another agent sending agents over to see you. They know it's from 2 to 4 o'clock. They got caught in traffic. They're 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
And you're already gone at 2:04
Yeah.
when they show up, right?
Right.
So
It's a very, very bad look for
right,
you.
Right.
And it just, again, if they do want to put in an offer and it's your actual listing, you're putting a bad taste in that agent's mouth too. It's
Right.
already setting things off on a bad foot that
Right.
didn't need to be. So
Right.
it is not worth it. I know we all are ready to go at the end of an open house, but
Right.
it will happen for sure. If you leave at
Right.
4:59, you're supposed to be there till 5, someone's going to show up.
Right. So talk about these other points here. You talk about your process of shutting down the house.
Yes.
Leaving some flyers behind, grabbing your, signs. How do you go pick them up? Now you have your son out there doing
Yeah.
the service. You don't have to do that.
Yep.
But you talk about. So talk about that. Texting the owners, etc.
Yes.
As well.
So of course, vacant
yeah.
houses are very different, and you basically, you shut everything down. But with homeowners, I always want to let them know when I've left, and then I tell them, like, I'm going to send you a follow-up email with all the information from the open house, or we'll call, we'll chat in a little bit, but I'm just shutting down. But I let them know so they can come home,
Right.
so they know that it's good to come home. And then I just leave their house however they had it for me. So if they had all the blinds shut and all the lights off, I do the exact same thing when I leave the house.
Right. Okay.
Or I just follow their lead.
And if it's not your listing, do you also not just let the homeowner know? Do you let the
Yes.
other agent know?
Yes.
Always.
Always let the
Okay.
agents know.
All right.
That's
And-
usually who I
and-
let know first, because sometimes I don't have the homeowner's information if it's for
Right.
another agent. So that's usually the
Right.
person.
Awesome. And then you always recap your notes.
Yes.
And send those
Correct.
to the seller as well.
Yes.
Do you do it that day?
Yes. Because
And if
they're
you're doing them
usually
all
pretty
along on your
yes,
computer
exactly.
during the open house, right?
Yes. And
you
so
can hit
that's
send
what.
while you're leaving.
Yep. And I've done that too. Yeah. So you don't even have to. And that helps with the whole staying after too, so that you're there in case that person comes 5 minutes late.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then lastly, you always review your notes, and you had Tina, you're talking about follow up that day. If you
Yes.
commit to something, do it,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And do
Yep.
it that day. And then I did put the follow-up with the 50 homeowners around the home. If you get the names of
Yes.
those people, it's a great time, to do that. So,
Two questions.
2 questions. All
What is
right.
the name of the author for Go For No?
Oh, I cannot remember the name of the
The
author.
question was, what is the name of the author for Go For No?
Google
So
it.
if anyone out there knows it, type it in the chat, and we'll relay it to everyone here in a
Yeah.
moment.
The Go For No letters are centered on the book cover, and they're in red.
Okay.
So if that helps when they Amazon it, it's. I mean, I actually taught it at the Team Leader Mastermind.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So it's just a great book.
All right. What's the other
The
question?
other one is, how do you talk to the owner about leaving the house before, if they're not hesitant to leave or not wanting to be gone during the open house?
All right, both of you. How do you talk to the homeowner about leaving the home if they are hesitant to leave the home or they don't want to do that?
So that's typically when my team pulls me into the conversation because I'm the problem solver. And so I have a very polite conversation with the homeowner. I usually call them. If they don't want to talk to me on the phone, I'll actually stop by and have a conversation with them and let them know, listen, I want your home to have the best opportunity to sell. And if you're here, people are not going to be comfortable sharing what they really feel or what their concerns are. And wouldn't you rather give your home a better opportunity to sell? I also throw in there that in the last 12 months, we've sold 24 houses at the open house, and I'd like to do that for them.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We usually talk about it when we're signing listing papers and we discuss open houses then and how they feel about them, but pretty much the exact same conversation, just that people are uncomfortable. Just like that's why we don't want you there for showings, all of that stuff. And it has nothing, it's not personal, but you have to kind of remember that you have to separate yourself from your home at that point because it's on the market and you need other people to envision themselves there.
It's emotional.
It is.
And we do explain that to them. Like, this is your home, so you're emotional about this, and I need to take your emotion out of it so that I can actually sell it.
Yep.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a great way. Okay, so real quick, let's talk Instagram. Let's talk social
how
media a
cute
little
that
bit.
is.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
so Kara's handle is K Lavenda.
Yep.
For Kara Lavenda, K Lavenda. You'll find her. And so, like, the thing that I love, the reason I put this right here is that she does a ton of hashtags. And she does a ton of personal, like she makes it business and personal. And she does business posts as well as personal posts.
Yep.
And then even inside of a business post, you're making it personal. And the thing I loved about this one is you're doing these, and these little stars, and you have all these little graphics all throughout, but you're talking about every single listing is so incredibly special to you, but this one hits closer to home. It was like the home was the home of my sister's childhood best friend.
Yeah.
So it becomes personal, and at that point, like, people are connected with you. People are engaged with you at a deeper level.
Yes, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people like doing business with people that they like.
Right.
Right.
So,
You're
and I
selling
want to,
yourself.
and I want to piggyback on that when Kara was talking about how she reads people. That's part of the psychology of selling as well. When people come into your open house, you need to match the speed at which they're speaking. You need to match whether they're thinking based or feeling based, what type of personality they really are, and that's part of bringing their comfort to where they'll actually open up to you because people like people who are like themselves.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and okay, I have some other examples here. I hope this is okay.
Oh, yeah.
But like yesterday, you had this great one, and it was Sunday Fun Day, another day, another move and stage, and you were helping. So, did the homeowner rent the truck?
We did,
you rented the
actually,
truck
yes.
for them?
So we just started working with some movers, CVZ Moving. Carlos is the owner, and he's awesome. We actually got him through Living Spaces, and so we've been using him now to help us move our staging stuff and to help our sellers pack and move.
So how do you do all these really cool little graphics on all of them? So this one says
cute.
84 degrees and showings, right? You got a
Yes.
background, and that was a showing you were doing. And you were doing it when you were showing a property. And
Yep.
these are the stories, by the way, the ones that are like the live videos.
Yeah.
This one you had, you made it with boomerang, so it does the same thing back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And closing gifts underway, and you got cute little things there. But then you got these little, as sold by Mary King, hashtag AZ Realtors, and I love this one because you had these little moving
Yeah,
things
little
down here in the corner.
dancers.
So how do
Mary and
agents learn how to create things like this?
So Instagram, once you get a hang of it is actually really, really easy, and they make it so, so easy. So like, this is just different fonts that they have when you show up there. Same with this. They have that there, and you just type in what you want, and you can change the font right at the top of it. And like, of course, that's just a picture that I took there.
Right.
Boomerang is built into Instagram now also.
Right.
So your stories are all these things. Making hashtags and like mentioning people is really important, because that gets people who don't follow you can even engage then and see your story, and then we'll go to your page. And
Right.
that's why I have so many hashtags on my photos, because then it reaches way further than I ever could on my own.
I love that.
Outside of my circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And looking back at some of those hashtags, I mean, from here to here,
That's
she's got
amazing,
all
a
these
lot.
different hashtags. But here's how it is, because I recently, like as an example, I started to follow a hotel in a certain area, and because I like that hotel, but it's an area, and all of a sudden now all these people's things are posting and showing, and it was a good reminder of when you're saying North Central Phoenix, anyone who posts anything with hashtag North Central Phoenix, and it kind of connects and it shares. So it's broadening your reach.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Your audience is much bigger then, so they're really important.
I love that. I love this one, and this is an example to me of work, personal work, personal, like all mixing together. I don't know what order these were in, and I hope it's okay. I was just taking some screenshots of what you do, but you're like, the best to receive on a Monday morning, we got the house. When your friends don't live in Arizona, but they still include you in their home buying process. Such proud of a happy friend. I mean, you're talking about, it's been so long for coffee, work on you for you, but then over here, like, give me all the beams, you were on a home tour or something. So that's the thing that I see agents do a lot, is they're on a home tour, they're invested in the time, but they're not leveraging it. So if you took the time to do a 1-hour home tour, you're going to post and do things while you're on it, because you want people to know. And people who know you know that real estate is a large part about what you do, and it's personal and business. So it's, and I tried to get a picture of your nephew. I couldn't find one, because you post pictures of your nephew and everything, and then they got a real estate, and it's all in one story.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be real estate, nephew, real estate, the Coyotes, hockey, right?
Yeah,
so you do a good job.
Exactly what it is.
Good job of mixing. So
thank you.
Follow Kara, and get connected with her. And then obviously referrals back and forth wherever you are, Wisconsin, whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Like
but
that.
also I think you can learn, and that's the thing that this whole thing is all about, is learning from two experts like this, collaborating, sharing. So you guys have been awesome. We're coming up here on our time. We may have a couple more questions. I'm going to go 5 minutes longer real quick. Now, we want to talk about putting strategies into action. Obviously, all of you can do nothing if you want. Or my idea is, let's do as many open houses collectively, all of us, as we can. A quick shout out and a quick thank you to Tina Valiant and Kara Lavenda, who both were so generous with their time to join us that day on that HomeSmart Business Builder on open house marketing, but also to allow me to repost it today on the Real Estate Podcast. Smart strategies to accelerate your real estate business. I thank all of you for joining us today. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and I hope to see you back for future episodes of The Real Estate. Until then, take care.